Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
We're back 4 days later. Yep. So we'll see if this one works. And if we have no issues, I won't be smashing anything. Episode 178. And next week, we're going to have to push our rope dropping knowledge fandom back all the way to Sunday, December 11th. And the reason that is apparently being a leadership role, I have to go and be nice to people once in a while. No, I'm actually going to see my team in Los Angeles, and Tracy doesn't like being here by herself, so she always takes off to her mom's when I take off.
No, I'm going to Orange County because I have to give Christmas.
We're both doing
gifts,
Christmas stuff.
and then we're doing some charities, or is it called charity stuff, volunteer stuff,
Volunteer, charity.
philanthropy. I don't know.
Good stuff for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be gone, and that goes through Thursday, but we will be at the parks on Friday the 9th. So,
Oh yeah, this is the last time we're speaking to you before going back.
Yep.
So yes, we'll be at the park December 9th. We'll have that wallet,
Wallet givewe'll
Kate
So if
Spade wallet.
If you find us, we still got it. So all you have to do is approach us and say, I want that wallet. And if you're the first one to do so, you get it. Anywhere on Disney property. All right. Now, giveaway talk continues because we have our December giveaway. And our December giveaway, we usually do something a little bigger than we usually do. So we're giving away a whole Loungefly set. This is the Loungefly Disney Snow Globe set. And we've already put it up as far as pictures and everything. You can see we have a backpack. We have a purse. Is it a mini backpack? I don't know. I guess it's a little smaller.
Mm-hmm.
The backpack's probably a little smaller than a big backpack.
Yeah, it's like the Loungefly,
Yeah.
regular Loungefly size.
Yeah, Loungefly size. I guess that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And also a wallet. They all have the little snow globe, snowman, Mickey and Minnie on them.
Mm-hmm.
Really cute.
We have it posted.
And all you have to do is direct message us the answer to this question. If you could have your own Disney shop, restaurant, or attraction, what would it be? So just send us that answer to Facebook, Rope Dropping Knowledge, Instagram, Rope Dropping Knowledge, direct message either one, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. For every medium you use, you get an additional entry. So for those of you who like Loungefly, it's a great giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who like Christmas, it's a great giveaway. For those of you who like both, it's the ultimate giveaway. So, yeah. Must be 18 years old, live in the United States. And we're going to end this one on
December 17th.
Yeah.
11:59 p.m.
Pacific Standard
Pacific.
Time. Yep. I already said you must be 18 years old and live in the United
Yeah.
States. Okay. Yada, 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 yada. Yada, 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 yada. So, yeah, this is a nice one. So, good luck to all you out there. Now, we want to talk super fan giveaways. So, those of you who've been with us for a long time, some of you have become super fans over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You get a nice gold card in the mail, Rope Dropping Knowledge, our old logo on it. And what does a super fan mean? Well, being a super fan entitles you to special giveaways, in the future, special events,
Mm-hmm.
when we start holding special stuff at the park, maybe outside the park. And sometimes, just special stuff. We're not going to do a Patreon or anything like that, at least not in the near future. But you're special. You're a super fan of Rope Dropping Knowledge. you got JPEG fired. You're a powerful secret society. But how do you become a super fan, you might ask? Well, basically just engaging with us on social media, entering contests, leaving reviews on Apple or any other medium where you listen to the podcast, giving us ratings, all that's good stuff. The more engagement, the better. And then we always evaluate periodically throughout the year, and we add new super fans to the list. We're adding a couple of more even before we do this giveaway. And this giveaway is going to be kind of special because I just thought, well, it's Christmas time. We already have the wallet giveaway that we always do. We have our monthly giveaway we always do. So the super fan giveaway is cool because you don't have to enter. If you're a super fan, you're already entered.
Yeah.
But instead of just one big super fan prize this time, I think I'm going to do 3 winners. So
Just multiple, yeah.
yeah, I think it's better. Spread the love. Spread the love.
And yeah.
So it's always going to be Disney merch, and we're just going to announce it throughout the month. I don't know if we're going to do one big announcement, just 3 winners, or maybe a winner one week and another winner the next. I don't know. But there'll be 3 winners in
stagger
December. Yeah. And you'll get all your stuff before the end of December. It'll all go out. So before the new year, all the Superfan winners will get their merch. So what's cool about the Superfan giveaways, what I like anyway, is that people don't even know that, what they're actually competing for.
Yeah. You'll just get random magic mail.
Yeah. So
Not random as in random stuff. There's going to be Disney stuff. Of
yeah,
course.
it's always going to be Disney stuff, but they don't even know. It's like, I mean, and yeah, sometimes the super fan prizes are, it varies.
Yeah.
It varies. I've given away toys before, games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's kind of like we're being a secret Santa out loud because we always gotta announce it on social media. So yeah. So if you want to be a super fan, or you have other people who are interested in being super fans and you have friends and family and stuff, shout it from the mountaintop. Talk about rope dropping knowledge.
There's a few
Share
people
stuff.
who are shared.
Yeah,
With
share
their
our
family
stuff.
members.
Share our stuff. If you don't use social media, get on the street with a megaphone. Be like, rope dropping knowledge is the best. Go listen to rope dropping knowledge now. It's awesome.
And Aubrey did do that. And because of that, it paid off.
Yeah.
Because our last winner was someone that Aubrey told to listen to us.
Yep.
And she entered and she won.
We're giving away so much merch through word of mouth. It's mouth merch. Mouth merch from Mickey. Say that 3 times fast. All right.
But speaking of past winners for this last giveaway, I am sending it tomorrow, so bear with me. The Black Panther winner, Kylan, and Q Party of 2 for the Tales of the Jedi winner.
Yeah.
I'll be sending that out tomorrow.
And the reason they've been a little bit delayed is, well, it's not that just we've been busy. It's that we want to, we have a lot. It's Christmas season, so we have a lot of stuff to send out.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably even going to be, well, we'll see. We'll see if we do another drop tonight. We will see. All right. Headlines. What's in the news? Or do you want to talk about our last Disney trip first?
Let's talk about our last Disney trip with Kevin and Christina.
That was cool because that was like just a long time coming.
Yeah, we used to, for our new listeners, those are our cousins that we used to go to Disney with.
Like all the
A
time.
lot, all the time before the shutdown or the pandemic. And then actually we were with them before it closed.
Yeah, on the 14th of
It closed unfortunately in March, but we
Yeah.
were there the weekend
the
before.
weekend before that 14th.
Yeah, like March 9th or something. So
Mhm.
we were with them, and then it closed, and then they were getting married, so they didn't renew their passes.
when the
or
Magic Keys came back.
Yeah, didn't get the magic key. And then when it was time, when they were ready, Magic Keys weren't on sale for new sales. And then finally it went on sale, and then they bought it.
Yeah.
And then now they're back.
And they got a day right after they got it.
Yeah, they got the Saturday right after they announced the 36-hour announcement thing. So they got the tickets, the Magic Keys, and they were able to snag a reservation. Like, it was sold out that Saturday, but then I think Christina kept checking, and she got it on a Thursday. So we had fun. We did all the things. Got Genie Plus for them.
Yeah, they're very anti
Genie
Genie Plus.
They're like, no, we have Magic Keys now, so we don't have to go on every ride every time.
But we're like, it's
And
your
we're
first time back.
Yeah.
You want to go
We're
on
not giving
everything.
them any more money.
I know. We're
They're
not giving
acting very
Chipper.
unfavorable.
They're OG unfavorables. But now Chapek is out, so maybe, attitudes might change. Maybe Genie Plus prices might change. Who knows? So, but that day was pretty cool. It was fun. We stayed at Paradise Pier again.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And, that makes things easier. It doesn't help with our Marriott points, but.
I know. Now we're like, oh, shoot, we have to, stay at the Marriott. We need, 3 more days to renew our status or whatever.
Yeah. For them to bless us or whatever. Like, don't we give you enough money?
Why doesn't Disney give us points?
Yeah. Well, they do.
I guess that's what DVC
Yeah,
is
it's
called.
it's called a Disney Vacation Club. So, I forget. What do we do? Because it's been 2 weeks now.
I know.
Well, we started at Disneyland, right?
We started at Disneyland, and then I said, because you never want to eat sweets with me, Christina's there. She's like, Tracy, you can eat whatever sweets you want today, and I'll help you. I'm like,
Enabler.
yes. And we'll talk about that in Taste Talk. That was the first thing I ate that day.
We went on some rides. We, Space Mountain. That was fun. We got to picture Christina with her eyes closed.
No, that was Radiator Springs.
Oh, was that Radiator Springs? Okay. Matterhorn, which was good. We did a lot of stuff. So
We were able to get some dining reservations, but then because of the whole 2-hour thing, you can now cancel your dining reservations 2 hours before the reservation time.
Right.
So there were a bunch of reservations that opened up the day of. But then I think it was Carthay Circle that they got, but then we're like, no, it's okay
Because they looked at the menu and they said,
because it was Carthay Circle Restaurant and not the Alfresco Lounge or whatever.
Yeah.
The Carthay Circle Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurant doesn't have that many stuff that we had before. The menu changed, so it wasn't that appealing. So we're like, it's okay.
Yeah. End up going to Naples.
Oh yes, we did end up going to Naples for lunch.
I guess Kevin's not a big pizza guy, but I was like, this pizza's good. And he's like, yeah. I think he thought all pizza was the same.
And they can't agree on a pizza, so they never order pizza because he loves mushrooms and she doesn't.
Mm.
So that's why they can never agree on a pizza.
That's funny.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, we went to Naples.
Then we went to the food festival. Let them try the hazelnut buttered rum.
Yes, they liked it.
Yeah, they liked it. Not as much as I did, but they liked it. Showed them around. We did some things. Got Radiator Springs. Radiator Springs is always good, especially in the evening.
Yeah, we
saw a family trying to sneak over.
There were so many. Okay, speaking of, So Radiator Springs has the standby line, the Lightning Lane line, and the single rider line.
Mm-hmm.
So there were family going through the single rider line, but then jumping over to the Lightning Lane line.
Yep.
We saw a lot of it happen, but I didn't want to be the Karen and be like, "Hello, excuse me, can you catch them?" So I was just like, whatever.
Well, it's weird.
You know, like I
because-
didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be accused of being a Karen. So I was like, okay, well, I guess so.
And it was a
And
weird.
it's weird. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that it's weird. It's like
It's their little kids jumping too.
when if you see this family that was doing it, like if you were to profile them, you would probably say, oh, this is like somebody who works in finance and
They're normal looking family. Like,
not
they
normal,
weren't teenagers.
but I mean, I don't like to use the word normal, but I mean, it's
No,
like they
but-
were like a middle class American, like they look like they had money.
They don't look like they would jump lines.
Yeah.
Because teenagers will jump lines. But,
But-
family with the little kid, they were little kids
Yeah,
there,
but-
and the
yeah,
little kid
But
was...
that's the second point. But
Okay.
this point is like, it was like, why would you risk? I'm not even talking about like the money aspect of it, but like the humiliation, because there was people. Everyone has a camera now. Like if I was recording up there, I'm just like, if I just wanted to be a jerk, I could just
yeah,
like,
if you
I
wanted
could
to
just
be...
like I wouldn't go to the cast member. I'll just make him famous. I'll make him Coney. Make Coney famous. I can make this family famous. And like these are the people jumping online, and then now like your boss sees it. Like I mean, and for what? And you saved what? $100? You know what I mean? It's like it's so weird, And you like
And then the same, well, not the same family, but a different family did the same thing. So they were on the single rider line. They rode with us. It was the mother and kid that rode the single rider line with us.
Mhm.
So the mother was in the back and the kid was in the front because they just assumed. Well, when we got out, there was a lane to exit. And they jumped over to the waiting lane. I was like, another family's doing it. A mom and a kid. And I'm like, what is going on?
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like
I mean, we've seen it happen once before with a man and his son. And we're like,
yeah, but that dude looked
okay.
like a Jersey Mafia guy.
Yeah.
And I was
So
just
I was like, all right, well.
this kid doesn't have any hope anyway. This is probably the best thing.
yeah, just let him go on the
Just let him
ride.
go.
It's fine. Let him go.
Yeah, it's like
But this was back
I
when.
profile people. I don't care.
This
I
was
do that
back
for
when
a
it was
living.
Max Pass, though. It was
Yeah.
free. This
Yeah.
is like, okay, now you're paying. So I guess more people
But
are
see,
jumping lines now that you
but
have
at
to
least
pay.
when you're paying, yeah. But at least my whole thing is like, dude, just imagine getting kicked out of Disney.
I know.
Just imagine like you're with your family, you paid money to get in. It's probably the biggest day of the year for your kids. You guys get kicked out.
Like the
And
guy
they
who
walked
ran
out.
through Disney World
Yeah, with his shirt off.
without a ticket. No, the
Oh,
guy
the guy.
who was like pushing the cast
Oh,
member
yeah,
away
yeah, yeah.
and pretending not to speak English. And he had his kid with him.
But see, I expect that from Florida. I don't expect that in California.
What if they were from Florida?
They didn't. Maybe.
Because Florida doesn't have Radiator Springs. So they're like, this is our only chance. Let's just jump.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just so weird because it's like you're with your kid. Like I could picture myself doing that like at like 16 years old.
That's what I'm saying. If it was teenagers doing it, I'm like, all right, they're teenagers.
Mhm.
But these are like upstanding looking citizens.
And you're telling your kid to do it.
Yes. No, they were picking the kid up
Oh.
and putting him over the rail.
Yeah, and it's like
I don't know. The kid doesn't know what's going on.
the
Right?
kid was like 7,
Okay. Yeah.
so he knows what's going on.
Yeah, he knows that climbing rails
Yeah.
isn't something legal or whatever. Isn't right. So
And I bet you these are the guys who are like, he looked like a guy that would be on Wall Street, and it's like, and people ask, well, how you get your money? It's like, hey, we foreclosed on people's houses. Well, they paid their rent, so,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do? It's like that's the kind of morals you're teaching. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
your kids, and then you're just like, well, no wonder this guy is, he has a
Yeah.
press. He was wearing this guy was wearing a Rolex. A Rolex
He's giving
Daytona.
so he doesn't want to pay $20.
Yeah,
Was
that's
it?
what I'm saying. It's
It was like $18 that day, I think.
so when I'm talking about like profiling, it's like I'm not saying racial profiling, not even class profiling. I'm just like why would you risk the humiliation? Your watch could buy the entire line Disneyland passes.
Yeah.
That's a $30,000 watch. You know what I mean? And you're like trying to save like $100.
Maybe he already did pay for the lightning lane, but his kid wants to go again, and he can't buy it. He can't buy his way into Radiator Springs now, so he has to jump.
It's just so weird. I don't know, man. And you know what makes me mad is because like, I grew up in Atlanta, and lot of poor. In my part, I grew up in Grant Park, gentrified now. It's pretty nice, but when I grew up, it was like poor, and then we had this other city right next to us was poor whites. We were living in a poor black community, and from either one of those communities, people would probably assume we would jump lines with our parents, just by looking at us.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we wouldn't. My mom would whoop me, and she's not even a whooping type, but to embarrass her like that,
Yeah.
it would be like, what? And so would all my friends, But they would be like, you see the people who actually jump lines at Disney? First of all, you have to afford to get into Disney. You have to
Yeah,
there's
that's
only
true.
middle class people at
That's
Disney.
true. That's true. Yeah.
And so then it's like now you're still doing like devious behavior. I think it's like, man, it's just surreal. It's kind of like I wasn't even like disgusted. I was just more like, man.
But it was more than one family doing it.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was weird. We saw it multiple times
Wilding out.
as we were walking, through the lightning lane and like jump, 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 jump.
Like I'm the type of
More
person who has a lightning lane, and I might not use it. I'll give it to you. Hey,
Yeah, if you want it that bad, you can have it, dude. We'll buy it for you.
I mean, it's just weird because I have, I've talked about this before. Buying foster parents, tickets
Yeah.
to Disney. Foster kids don't do that.
No, I don't
Kids
even
who've been
think.
abused don't
Even
do
though
that.
we profile teenagers and say they do that, teenagers nowadays are like scared, of the law and stuff. Like they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, they don't. It's not even that. It's that they don't want to get kicked out. They
Yeah, they're
they actually
scared.
appreciate being at Disney.
Yeah.
The
They're
whole
hyper,
time,
but
the
they're
whole
just-
time we were complaining about grad night, I didn't see anybody jumping.
No, we just know that they've been locked up for so many years and they're in the computer and phone all the time that they don't know their
Yeah.
surroundings.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like that. Like they bump into you, things like that.
Mm.
But they're not like, bad kids.
Yeah.
They don't do anything.
But then this guy who's probably in his 40s, and his
With
wife.
kids.
No, wife and kids.
Yeah, wife and the whole family
The whole family is going to like jump.
jump
and-
through the rail.
Yeah.
Jump over the rail. I mean,
And it's just like,
yeah,
man,
that was
this-
weird.
This is so. It's just weird. It's weird. But anyway, we talk too much about them. Now I'm just wishing I was recording. To make them.
No, then
famous.
you'd be like the Karen or whatever.
I'll just put it on our page. I'll put it on our private, Facebook group so we can all laugh. If somebody happens to steal it and put it somewhere else,
Or send it to Disney guest relations.
yeah.
Hey, you should have a person. Because in Space Mountain, there is a person on top
Yeah.
to make sure they don't jump over.
Yeah.
But they don't have that. I guess there's no place to do that, to stand at Radiator Springs for
I mean,
a cast
you
member
could
to
put
stand.
somebody that'd have to be like in the rails,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I just don't think people would do it. It's so weird.
Yeah.
They could put a camera right there.
Because they barely even look at you when you're scanning your lightning lane in the thing, in the
Yeah.
queue. They're
Yeah.
just like, looking the other way. I mean, I could be just
Yeah,
scanning something
because I remember
fake.
when you were scanning one, I forget which ride it was, but I was in between you and the cast member,
Uh-huh.
Not intentionally.
Right.
And we scanned in because you were doing it for all of us, like
Mhm.
Christina and Kevin. So you were doing it for 4 people. And so I was just like, and it was crowded. I think it was Matterhorn.
Mm.
And so we were standing there, and it's like the cast member couldn't see the thing light up.
Yeah.
So we could just been faking like we were doing it.
Because even if it lit up red, it
Mhm.
makes the same sound. That's
Yeah.
what I noticed.
Yeah, that's process design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're lucky that Iger's back, because if Chapek was listening to this story, he would hunt them down himself for that $100. Anyway, we that was kind of a long tangent on something that was just weird, but we still had a good time.
Yeah, we had a good time. We did find something. Speaking of that rum thing, we found a cool cast member who was at the Treats for Santa booth, and she was really friendly. I think her
funny.
shift was over, and so she started getting giddy.
Yeah.
And we're getting the rums. We're getting 3 because Kevin and Christina was going to share one.
Mhm.
And then she's like, "Yeah, just be careful." And we showed her her ID because we're like, "Hey, we're way over the age." But she was saying that the guy who just walked by
Mhm.
are actually like at DCA. They have plainclothes people.
They have them at Disney too.
Yeah, they do have them at Disney, but DCA more so to look for the alcohol.
Right.
So she's like, "Yeah, if they're there, if you look young, they'll go up to you, even if you're
They'll card you.
already holding the thing,
Mm.
and ask you because some people like buy for
For somebody else.
underage."
Mhm.
And so that's why when you see security guards walking people out, that's
Yeah.
why.
That's probably usually the reason. I bet.
Yeah.
Because there's usually no big kerfuffle. It's not a fight or something. It's
Right.
just it's not some family jumping in the lightning lane. It's usually they saw somebody with alcohol, they carded them, and it's probably like a 16-year-old or something.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Because even if they card you when you're buying it, you could be buying it for a
Yeah, because you can
16-year-old.
get 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Per person.
Mhm.
So, yep. So don't do that.
So she was like, "Yeah, see the girl that just walked by? She's security." I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, should you be
That's
telling
nice
us
to know.
that?"
I know. She didn't care. She's like, I am off in 5 minutes. What do you want to know? Oh, man. All right. So, but yeah, overall, fun day, fun night. Glad to be back with, what does Dole Whip call him? Kevtina?
Kevtina.
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 So, we're going to be looking forward to many times in 2023 with them at the parks.
Yep.
All right. Headlines.
Headlines. So Bob Iger had a town hall on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
last Monday, to address all the cast members and employees. So, there was like a Q&A, and so just about some dot points on what was touched upon and asked. So the first one was the LGBTQ plus issue on where they stand. And he says one of the core values of storytelling is inclusion and acceptance and tolerance. We can't lose that. So that's pretty clear where he stands in LGBTQ plus community. And then they asked about the Disney organizational structure of the DME, Media and Entertainment Distribution Group, and that was the Kareem Daniels group. And he says it will take time for it to be restructured. So
Right.
that means it's probably going away.
Yeah.
And then about the rumor about the Apple sale, he said was pure speculation.
Mm-hmm. That's not saying it's not
I
true.
know, that's not really denying it
if I,
or anything, right? He's not denying it.
if you say, if I was that family who jumped into the lightning line,
Yeah, you jumped in like thing. If they didn't really, they would be like, "No, I didn't."
yeah,
Right?
and
Not-
it says
That's pure speculation.
that's pure speculation. Like they get to the front and somebody's like, wait a minute, like the cast, because they do have cast member swaps.
Yeah.
Sometimes the people who work at the front will switch and they
Yeah.
to relieve somebody on the ride. And it's
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, you guys didn't scan in. We remember you arguing in front of the standby line.
Yeah.
That's pure speculation.
Yeah, that was a weird choice of words. Anyways, hiring freeze is to stay because people were like, "Oh, now that you're here, is there still a hiring freeze?" And he's like, "Yes, there is." For a moment, as cost structure company wide is reassessed.
But layoffs were kind of not mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he says creativity should be the company's focus. It is what drives the company. So, of course, he's reiterating that creativity is important. Imagineers are important, He says, on regards to people returning to work inside offices, he feels like creative businesses worked best when employees were together in person.
Well, he's an old school guy. He's 71.
Yeah, that's
So.
old school.
Yeah.
But I guess I can see it.
And
And
maybe for creativity, it is
Yeah.
because it's like, like maybe the people in accounting, maybe not so much when you're just looking at spreadsheets all day. But if you're actually like Imagineering or
Yeah, if like if you
Do-
have a mold of a character or a
Yeah.
drawing, you want to go in and show it right to your
and
boss
somebody
or
might
whatever.
make a quick comment as opposed to looking at it like a project and you're only making the most important comments.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the slight, just offhand comments
Mhm.
can make the biggest difference.
Right.
So,
Just like that. What's that George Lucas department? The
Industrial Light and Magic.
yeah,
Mhm.
how they worked. They were all together in this little warehouse, and that's how
Mhm.
they were so successful.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, why don't you do this? And then this thing that was weird looking had tusks down. And
Yeah, it's like, what
became
about
iconic.
this? And then George
know.
Lucas would be like, oh, maybe fix the nose a little or something,
Yeah, yeah.
So it is easy. It is better in the office. And then he mentioned he would discuss the park reservation system with Josh D'Amaro. So that's where he, like we were talking about last week, where people ask him questions. Hey, what about the park reservation system?
Mhm.
Well, I'll talk to Josh D'Amaro about that
Mhm.
because he wants to defer to whoever the
Yeah,
leader of parks.
I'm not in charge of that. So
Yeah.
I'll talk to the person who is.
Yeah,
And I trust that person. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So those were the key takeaways.
If they got rid of I'm telling you, they're not going to get rid of it. But if they did, it would be the biggest shock of my life. If they got rid of the reservation system.
Yeah.
Just because from a business standpoint, that's a golden thing. Can they make some improvements to it? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Can they do it in different ways? And yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff to where it's better for the guests. But to get rid of it altogether, I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
From a business standpoint,
Yeah.
guests would love it.
I mean,
but,
they can
no.
do the whole wait list thing like what they do in Paris.
Yeah.
Why is my wire? Okay, sorry, technical. Okay, so I guess that's it for.
So,
Oh yeah, no, there's more. There's more things that happened. So then, now that he's back, he was being asked about the controversy of Disney being involved in politics, right? With the what?
You just pulled that away from your mouth.
Oh. So yeah. So now that he's back, they were asking like, hey, what's your take on Disney being involved in politics because of that whole LGBTQ controversy with the bill in Florida
Mhm.
and DeSantis? And he says that it's not really like he doesn't. Where was the quote? Yeah, he says, do I like the company being embroiled in controversy? Of course not. It can be distracting and it can be a negative impact on the company. And to the extent that I can work to kind of quiet things down, I'm going to do that.
Mhm.
So he also said it's a misperception that Disney is involved in politics, when in fact, like, some subjects are branded as politics because people choose to brand it that way or because it's controversial, but he doesn't think it's getting involved in politics. He thinks that the company is about telling stories and attempting to be good citizens of the world. And that if that's politics, then I guess so. But that's just all they're trying to do is tell stories and,
Which is a political answer.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing, right? Oh, and you go ahead and just say what DeSantis said.
So Iger told his employees that he was sorry to see us dragged into that battle, and I have no idea exactly what its ramifications are. So Governor DeSantis went on Tucker Carlson and said, we didn't drag them in. They went in on their own and not only opposed the bill, they threatened to get it repealed. These are parents' rights, important policies in our state, and they're very popular.
Right. So you notice he didn't attack Disney again
Mm-hmm.
in those statements. He put DeSantis on the defensive. And how did he do that? He gave a political answer, which wasn't 100% true, because Disney was involved in politics, because the reason why the LGBTQ members of Disney were getting upset is because they gave money to people who passed that bill.
Mm-hmm.
that when you give money to a politician, I don't know a bigger way to get involved in politics. Now, to be fair, they gave money to Democrats and Republicans, like most corporations do.
Mm-hmm.
But they just happened that some of the money that they gave happened to land in the hands of people who voted for that bill.
Mm-hmm.
So they were involved in politics. It wasn't just them, having gay characters in movies and things of that nature. But the way Iger, and I'm trying to be, fair,
Mm-hmm.
the way Iger handled it, though, the difference is, and it's not that he said things that were way different than what Chapek said.
Mm-hmm.
It's the timing and how he says it made all the difference. It wasn't a different message than what Chapek said.
Right.
But look at the subtleties in it. He said that, he just wants to make inclusive stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't say that, he didn't attack the bill. He didn't attack DeSantis. He didn't attack Florida.
Nope. He just says, I don't think when you're telling stories and attempting to be good citizens of the world that is political.
Right. So but he did, in just what you said, he did it by stating his opinion right off the bat. So he states his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't attack anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He says, now you could take that opinion and now it forces other people to say, well, your opinion is wrong, which makes them look bad. Right. Like, so it's kind of like, if I wanted to attack him, I'm like, well, being a good citizen of the world sucks. You know what I mean? You can't. So it's hard to attack him on that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Chapek doesn't understand that, and he said it timely. He did a town hall immediately as he got the job. He couldn't have done it sooner than when he did it.
Mm-hmm.
He got the job like only how many days before that?
Yeah.
He did
Like
the town hall.
a week.
Yeah, and so he does a town hall, and then, so you can't say that. Well, he was late in addressing something. He addressed it as soon as he could.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what Chapek did. Chapek remained quiet and then was forced to make a statement.
Yeah.
And then once he made a statement, he was forced to flip
too
it.
late. Yeah. Forced to flip it.
Yeah. He gave his opinion. He doesn't have to repeat himself. He did it timely, and he didn't attack.
Nope.
That subtle difference. It doesn't seem like it's like, oh yeah, it seems like something that's simple.
And he even apologized, right? Sorry to see us dragged. He apologized to his employees and he said, sorry to see us dragged into this battle. And that's the statement that DeSantis directly responded to.
And he's doing
you
all
were
this.
dragged into it or whatever.
And he's doing all this while addressing employees.
Yeah.
So he's talking directly to the employees.
Yeah.
The cast members. All of those things Chapek didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to get at, like from a good CEO standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you say and how you say it matters. And he just snipped the controversy. Now that controversy is dead. There's nothing he really has to say to DeSantis at this point.
Yeah.
And now anything about like Reedy Creek or anything like that could happen behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of them said their piece. It's kind of done right now. And it's not like he attacked anybody. He just said, we're going to do inclusive stuff. If you want to come out against that, that's just going to make you look bad, you know? And yeah. And he put a bow on it. And now any dealings they want to do are not in the public eye. Mm-hmm. And he shuts that door. I know that people think, well, that doesn't sound like much. It's a world of difference between what happened a year ago.
Mm.
So, and it's just subtle things like that, that kind of experience. That's why when they find his replacement, his successor, they're going to have to look for those things. Don't just get somebody who is in sales, who's used to running their mouth, just to get things done. And then now they're at the top. It's like,
mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. I just want to tell them to shut up.
Yep.
But yeah.
And then I guess the other big question for him is the Lake Nona move, the move to Florida. And that, of course, we all know was, this was before. It was delayed till 2026. And so I don't think he addressed it, did he? I'm not sure. But I mean, obviously that's delayed till 2026. And what happened with that was when people were given like until a certain time to make their decisions and all those people moved who decided to move, they had put money on, like started looking for housing.
Yeah.
And then Disney's like, just kidding. We'll put a stop to it until 2026. And then all the people moved back to California.
Some of them.
So some real estate people were saying that they lost over like, I don't know,
Those $1 million
millions.
deals. Yeah.
In deals because of that.
Yeah.
But I think the delay will still occur. You know, I don't think there's any talks of that.
You mean you
yet.
think the move will still happen?
I mean, the move, will still be not
We'll
until
see.
2026.
It could be a partial move too. I mean, because they own property in both places, so I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see.
I mean, it's unclear what the future is. So
Yeah.
for that project.
Are we done with headlines?
Yep.
All right.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
Wow, seems so long ago that we did this. But the maple beignets was the first thing I ate when I went last time with Christina, because she's like, "Oh, let's get beignets. I'll get you beignets." And so she mobile ordered maple beignets and
Bacon sauce.
and with the dipping sauce, maple bacon dipping sauce. It was delicious.
Yeah, it's everyone knows I'm not a huge fan of beignets just because they're messy. And
Yeah.
it's like and it's usually like in the middle of the day at Disney.
Or when you're wearing black.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I'm not really craving sweets in the middle of the day at Disney. Like, 'cause I sugar crash easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, to me, it's just like an unnecessary thing that is a barrier to other stuff. Like, I like Disney treats, taking them home or taking them back to a hotel room or doing that.
But those are all the same.
But it's all the same. But it's like, to me, it's like, you know, it's whatever. It's like, I don't go to Disney for sweets, but
But
they
a lot
have
of
some
us
of the
do.
best sweets in the world. So
Yeah.
it is, you know, I'm not hating on it. Just saying. But these were really good, I have to admit. I've always liked the Jazz Kitchen beignets better. They're a little denser, a
Mhm.
little fluffier. And I didn't think this would taste that great, but the maple bacon sauce was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely have to get the sauce on the side. It's an extra like $1.19.
But I think it's something that you don't want to stuff your face with, though. You will crack. It's super.
Yeah, we shared the 6-pack among
Yeah.
the 4 of us. So
Yeah, I think a 6-pack among 4 adults is
is
fine.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but definitely thumbs up. I mean, there are some people who they only go to Disney for the sweets. So
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to take away from that people. And if
That's
you're-
what I do when
if-
I go with my sister.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people, you definitely should try these. So, awesome. Okay.
Oh, I forgot. Today they announced the SoCal ticket deal. So you can get a 3-day ticket for Southern California residents for
I think it's as low as 73.
$73 a day, but it has to be a 3-day.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
Anyways,
not bad.
it's only multi-day tickets, and it's only for weekdays. But now they
Mm.
put like a lot of restrictions on it.
Yeah, if it's only for weekdays, I'm like, that's not as good as they had before, but
Yeah.
'Cause
Because
that's-
before it's like any 3 days.
mm-hmm.
But anyways, that was announced today. And then the other things that were announced were the festivals. So the Lunar New Year Festival will be January 20th through February 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that's your favorite, the Food and Wine Festival,
Yep.
is March 3rd through April 25th. And then during that Food and Wine Festival, Soaring Over California returns for that time period.
Yep.
Um,
We will wonder if they're going to put Chapek in it now. Like,
yeah, because Eisner was
Eisner was
another one.
golfing. That's
No,
gonna
they
be
should put
Chapek.
Iger in it now because he's more of. Okay. And then the other new food thing is that there's 3 new flavors of turkey legs.
Which is, to me, it's like, that's a huge
Yeah.
story. Because the turkey leg's so iconic
Yeah.
at Disneyland.
Even though it's iconic, not a lot of people like it. You know when you get those memes that if you can
A
get
lot
rid
of people
of one
like
thing.
it. A lot of people like it. A lot of people, more than expected, complain about it, say they don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's not a time that I've gone there that I don't see some
'Cause
kid
it's
eating
not a
something bigger
sweet-
than his head.
That's why people don't talk about it because it's not a sweet treat, probably.
Yeah, I mean, there's lame people, but it's just they wouldn't sell it if people didn't like it.
Yeah.
They get the
So now they have 3 flavors: smoked, which is
Mhm.
the original;
Mm-hmm.
buffalo, that's weird, spicy, huh? And barbecue. And
Mm.
it'll be at Edelweiss Snacks
Yeah.
near Matterhorn.
I mean, I remember when we first got ours, it was like I could barely finish it.
Yeah,
It was a lot.
it was a lot. We didn't know, and we each got one, and we couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
Well, I know my sister got it, and then she had leftovers, and she took home, and my mom made soup out of it or something. Turkey soup out of it.
Go Viet. Yeah. And waste not, want not. Right? I mean, I like the smoked one. I mean, it tastes kind of like ham.
It tastes like ham, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you don't expect it,
Yeah.
you know. But I probably would share a barbecue
guess-
one with you just to see what it tastes like. I'm not doing a buffalo one.
No, I don't want to do any of them.
I'll try the barbecue. I mean, Just-
So like, meh.
all the nasty stuff you try for content, I could easily do a turkey leg because at least I know it's going to taste good.
That's true. But, I'd
Some
rather
sour
save
apple
my stomach
something.
for sour
For-
apple something.
Oh boy.
Okay. And then, so Disney was hit with an antitrust lawsuit over live streaming. And the suit is brought by YouTube subscribers, and they're claiming that Disney's ownership of Hulu and ESPN has allowed the company to drive up prices across the live stream market.
Yeah.
It's basically, saying that it's
I don't know why YouTube subscribers bought that, but I don't know. I'm not seeing the
we'll
connection.
see how that goes.
But they do drive up prices. Like, I mean, yeah, the more things a company owns, the more it's going to cost you because they
So
can.
they
charge
said
whatever they want.
that accuses Disney of managing the business as a single entity, claiming that the arrangement allows the company to negotiate anti-competitive agreements with competitors that have inflated the cost of live television streaming over the internet.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, it's kind of like when you saw all the once in a while you'll see like a cable provider being like, we're no longer going to carry ESPN because Disney's just unfair, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But then and usually it has to do with, it's not just always prices. It's kind of like, well, if you want ESPN, you also got to carry these 3 Disney channels or something, maybe channels that they don't want, right? But of course, pricing, that is a way of pricing too, because you're
Mhm.
forcing them to buy something they might not want. Yeah, it's that's just business, I'm not saying that's a good thing. Antitrust,
Well, they're saying that since Disney acquired Hulu in 2019, YouTube TV has doubled.
right?
So that's why it's the YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, because they're forcing them to compete, but Google doesn't have to do that. Unless they're showing some type of Disney streaming content that Disney's that they're paying Disney for, and maybe that's what's increasing the price.
Yeah.
If they're just increasing the price to maintain competitive in the market space as far as revenue, well, that's a choice. So, but yeah, I mean, the bottom line is I don't know what you can do about it because we've already structured our society to where we don't care if there's one winner. You know what I mean? So if you're okay with living in a free market society where things can fail, so for example, let's say Netflix fails, their library is going to get bought by somebody, and it's not going to be bought by somebody that's broke. It's not going to be like a bunch of students and say, "Hey, we're going to buy Netflix library after bankruptcy." You're going to need hundreds of millions of dollars to do that. So maybe billions. So it's kind of like unless you say, "Oh, from now on, certain things have to go into the public domain," which is anti-capitalist. You're always going to be stuck with somebody. If it's not Disney, it's going to be Comcast. If it's not Comcast, it's going to be Universal. I mean, it's going to be somebody.
It's going to be somebody.
So I don't know. I don't know what you can do about it. And if they do rule against Disney, I don't even think Google wants Disney to lose this case, because that is going to hurt their future endeavors and other things. It might not be streaming, but Google wants to own a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it's the subscribers that are suing.
Yes,
not
so they don't
Google.
they don't want a precedent that's going to rule against being more of a monopoly, because Google wants to be a monopoly.
Mhm.
So it's a kind of a weird. It's going to create strange bedfellows. Even though
Yeah, that
Google
is
had
weird.
to pay, it's going to be like, yeah, we'll see what happens though. I doubt much of it's going to come out of it.
But I do see Hulu Live because your mom subscribed to Hulu Live instead of YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Okay. And then speaking of Strange World, Disney's Strange World movie lost $100 million in the theatrical run. And this is like that whole beef with the executives at Pixar, saying how Chapek favored Disney Studios more than Pixar because they wanted Turning Red to be released in theaters. He's like, why does that go directly to Disney Plus, but Strange World doesn't? It's kind of that whole thing. So that's what they're like.
Because
Told you
Dream
so.
Daniel said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a good question, because Pixar movies lately, well,
Well,
other than
Buzz,
Frozen,
I mean, Lightyear
yeah,
went to theaters, and I guess it didn't do well, huh?
no, it didn't do well. But a lot, I would say overall, Pixar movies have been more popular in the animated realm for the last, if you look back like 10 years.
Well, except for Frozen, like you said.
Frozen is the kind of like the equivalent of Lightyear, right? Frozen for Disney is like the outlier success-wise, and then Lightyear is kind of like the outlier on the non-success-wise for
I see.
Pixar. Yeah. But if you like in figure skating in the Olympics, if you throw out the highest and lowest score,
Yeah, you get the middle.
Pixar wins. So
Yeah, but along this opposite side, Wakanda Forever raked in $400 million just in the first week.
woo, Wakanda forever.
Yeah, and then also the day before Thanksgiving, Ryan Coogler sent not a message. He sent a letter of gratitude to all the fans. We mentioned it on the episode that got erased.
The lost episode.
The lost episode. I even forgot what he said, but it was along the. I didn't
Basically,
save
he was
the
just
letter.
congratulating. You don't have to read it word for word, but he was just saying thank you,
To the fans.
to the fans, and for making this we wouldn't have hit 400 million in the first week without you.
Without you.
Without people, going out and seeing it, without people buying it for their classrooms.
Oh
without
yeah, the people buying for the whole classroom in the.
And buying for other people that couldn't afford to go
Yes.
see the movie. It's like there was a big community type bump to that.
Right.
And it's good, and it's kind of like, a lot of people say, well, yeah, a lot of black people seen it because it's a black movie, but I think it's a lot of everybody. You don't get 400 million the first weekend out of
With just
black
black
people.
people seeing
No.
it.
Yeah. Now, did black people show up in mass? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a good lesson for any community, right? That if you want to see, and it's something that black people had to learn a long time ago, but if you want to see your faces, your stories in the mainstream, you got to support your creators. And it's kind of like voting. It's like my vote doesn't count, or what if I don't see this movie? Who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, no. It's one of those things where even if you go, there's a movie, and it doesn't even matter what community you're a part of.
Yeah.
It could be, you could be like an Alabama redneck. And I don't think Alabama rednecks are not represented as much in movies. Well, and I think, because this was a big thing when I lived in the South, is that a lot of people considered people with Southern accents like less intelligent just because of their accents.
Right.
And even though we have doctors, lawyers, Nobel Prize winners who have Southern accents,
Yeah.
if you had a Southern accent, people made fun of you. From other parts of the country or in movies and stuff. So if somebody writes a movie or gets a movie greenlit that's about a Southern family or a Southern hero or whatever, go see it, go support it. They will make
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
They will make more. A lot of people talk about things being too woke or some things being too this or too that. Hollywood is capitalist as it comes.
Yeah, they do whatever's the trend.
Yeah, they're no less capitalist than Wall Street.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Wall Street and Hollywood are linked because those businesses are on the exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make something that makes money, you're going to get greenlit for the next thing because they want you to make more money.
Yeah.
And if you are just a normal human and you want to, see certain things represented, when something pops up, go support it, even if it's not that great.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be realistic. I remember back in the 80s, early 90s, most black entertainment sucked. I'm just gonna be real. I remember watching what was that TV show? Like I didn't even really watch it, but it was like Homeboys in Outer Space. There was a lot of crappy stuff out there, but yeah, it's like black people are like, I guess I'll turn in for 5 minutes or whatever.
There was the Cosby Show.
That that was universally loved. Though,
yeah.
But probably not so much now.
Not
but,
now. Looking back.
But I'm just saying, there's so many people in different communities that don't support their own people in their community because it's like, well, I'm holding it up. It's not Oscar award worthy, so I'm not going to go spend money on it. It's like, well, then they're probably, because that's not how business thinks.
Yeah.
They're just thinking of in demographic terms.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, Tracy is 1,000 Tracys didn't want to buy this. Why should we make anything more for Tracy?
Right.
That's the way they look at it.
I see. Yeah.
Even if the next one's a banger and the one that you didn't pay for kind of weak,
Yeah.
like you got to support the weak stuff so they green light more and more stuff. And the more stuff that's out there, one of them's going to be a hit.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's the way the numbers work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought the letter was very cool because he was thanking actual people who went to see the movie, where he was like, I want to thank even you guys who hold your bathroom breaks because the movie was 2.5 hours long and you bought a ticket, and thanks for holding your bathroom break to see the movie, like stuff like that. So it was really sincere and very, grateful. He was very grateful.
Yeah. And I like the fact that he wrote that because, one, he, at the moment, is the biggest director in Hollywood. I'm not saying he's the greatest director in Hollywood. I'm saying
at the moment.
At the moment that Black Panther is Wakanda Forever is out, he's the biggest director in the world, and he handled it with humility. He said, "Thank you."
Yeah.
He didn't say, "Yeah, that's what I do." No, he said, "Thank you," because he's a pretty introverted guy.
Yeah.
And it's gotten him in some trouble because he got the police calling him to him when he's at the bank and stuff, because he's just kind of he was trying to get money out, and it's just like not see anything. And I think the person that called the police on him, I think she was a black teller too. So it's not just profiling; it's profiling like somebody just who's not boisterous, and like, hey, this is what I need. Here are the documents. He's just like, he's a rich guy. It's like, I just want to get some of my money out, and they took advantage of him. And worked against him. I don't say take advantage because I wasn't there. But when writing, when directing, is a very humble guy. People, from what I hear, really like working with him. And I can see why. I guarantee you, when he wrote it, it was about the same time when Iger took up the post. I guarantee you that brought a smile to Iger's face. Because that's the kind of guy he is. Yeah, he's not. Iger's more boisterous and talks to people.
Yeah.
But he loves humility among creators.
Yeah.
And that's great. And I like to see that as well.
Well, he is pretty also down to earth in the sense that this one popular TikToker, I forgot his name, his handle. But anyways, he was invited to go to the premiere of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And he was like on the side filming, whatever. And then Ryan Coogler stopped, turned around, be like, hey, you're the TikTok guy. And this guy freaked out, like, Ryan Coogler recognized me. Like, he's that type of person.
Yeah, he's at home on his computer and writing. Like, hey, he probably has like a 3-screen setup. He has like a script in one thing, like script corrections on the other screen, and like TikTok on the third screen.
Yeah.
And he's probably just banging away on his Power Mac. You know.
Yeah. The
That's
guy
it.
just totally freaked out. Ryan Coogler recognized me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But anyways, on the other hand, there's another popular director that made a statement, and this is something Johnny from DMSW podcast brought to our attention, where Quentin Tarantino made a statement about Marvel actors, where he's saying Marvel actors are not real movie stars. The movie stars are actually Captain America and Thor. Like the actual character are the movie stars. The Marvel actors aren't the real movie stars.
Right.
That got everyone in the MCU upset, especially Simu Liu. And Sam Jackson was asked about it, and he said some things about it too.
Yeah. So, I mean, and Simu was kind of respectful. I mean, he said, yeah, he acknowledged that they're geniuses and da-da-da-da and the golden age, you know. I think that, for one, I disagree.
Yeah.
I'm not angry with them. I just think they're old dudes. You know, and I
They're
think,
old. I mean, it's been like this, right? Scorsese says something about
Yeah.
superhero movies.
another old dude,
Jodie Foster.
old broad. No,
I mean, they're all Oscar people. But then what are Oscar movies? They're the golden age, like Simu Liu said, right?
yeah, I mean, it's. I think in some ways I understand some frustration because there's only so much real estate in theaters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if the only thing that's being pushed out by the studios and the only thing that theaters are showing are superhero movies, or at least let's say like 80% of the movies are going to be superheroes or some type of IP that's just a huge IP, like a Mission Impossible. You know, that's not a superhero movie, but it's like a big branded IP. If they came out with like another Ocean's movie, like if the only things that they're showing are reoccurring IPs and it's just different themes on the
Oh,
IP,
yeah.
that's really, I think, what they meant. But it just so happens that superhero movies happen to be the dominant IP at the moment,
Right.
right? But as far as the actors, I think that's disrespecting the actors.
Yeah, because Chadwick Boseman is the Black Panther. He made
Right.
the Black Panther, and with his passing, they couldn't
Right.
find it. He is the Black Panther, so they couldn't recast.
And I think that was Johnny's point. Right?
Yeah.
But I'll go even farther than that. Like, I'll even break it down even because I'm a comic book nerd, man. When I was growing up, I was disappointed. Not disappointed, but we were out. People like me, I mean, fortunately, I was into sports too, so I wasn't really bullied or anything for liking comic books and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff because, you know, I was into boxing and I was
Yeah.
football and stuff too. But there are a lot of people who weren't. You know, there are a
Yeah.
lot of people who weren't born in a 6'1" African American body that playing Dungeons and Dragons and they get pushed into lockers, you know. And those were my friends, you know. And so we were always hoping that someday, you know, people will take these stories and they'll be popular. They'll be mainstream.
Yeah, made mainstream.
So I remember those days when these characters, nobody knows these characters, you know, until Iron Man 1. You know, they kind of knew of them, kind of the same way somebody who's not into
All we
Shakespeare
knew-
are Romeo and Juliet, but
Yeah.
never read it.
All we knew back in the day was Superman and Batman.
There's only
Right?
they're the three most popular superheroes are in no particular order, but
Right.
the three most popular are Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. Those are the three. Two of them are DC.
Yeah.
Captain
I didn't know
America.
Spider-Man when I was a kid.
Yeah, but you're an
Because
immigrant.
the movies. No, because the movies were Superman's Christopher Reeves back
Yeah.
when I was growing up.
But you were just watching stuff that your parents would bring home
Yeah.
and put on tape. But I mean,
Yeah.
the average American, like Spider-Man was pretty big. Like, you know, and even when the Tobey Maguire movies came out, forget about it, you know.
Yeah.
But those were the three most popular. And then you could say, you know, Wonder Woman a little bit because she was like
Oh,
the
yeah,
only
Wonder
female,
Woman.
you know.
Because that was on TV.
But let's even include Wonder Woman. Okay. Let's even include the Flash. Okay.
Yeah,
You
definitely
know,
not the Flash.
I know you know, people just knew that he was really
Oh,
fast.
the Hulk.
Yeah,
Because he was
the
on
Hulk-
TV.
Hulk- oh,
Whatever was on TV at the time,
Yeah.
basically.
But most Americans knew those heroes.
Yeah.
But they didn't know most people didn't know Iron Man that much. He's kind of a B character in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
They knew, maybe heard his name. Captain America was more of a euphemism. Oh, you think you're Captain America? They would like say that about soldiers and stuff and people who are really patriotic. But if I said, well, give me Captain America's backstory, no one could recite that. Only nerds knew that. Definitely nobody knew like Captain Marvel. They thought Captain Marvel was the DC Captain Marvel, which is Shazam now. Definitely nobody knew Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Even as a nerd, I was like,
even after
why are
the
they
first
doing this
Avenger.
movie?
Yeah. It was like, ooh.
I was just like, why are they doing this movie? Nobody knows who this is, So, yeah, production, writing, and acting, and make movies. I mean, and acting is a big part of it. And the reason I bring up those most popular superheroes is because if it was simply the characters that make the movie, then, and I've said this before on the podcast, Batman v Superman should be the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah.
Because those are the two.
Those are the two popular.
2 out of 3 most popular characters in the same movie.
Yeah.
And it had Wonder Woman.
Yeah. But
and it
why
had the Flash.
didn't it?
And that had Aquaman. Had all the heavy hitters of DC. And it, meh. It was meh. So
it isn't the superhero that's the star.
I mean, it's helped to have a good IP. I mean, now everybody knows who Thor is. But before the MCU, everyone thought, Thor? You mean the Greek? I mean, not the Greek, but the Norse god?
Or the guy from Adventures in Babysitting?
Yeah. People, that was and when that was in Adventures in Babysitting in the 80s, that was considered a deep cut. They knew that.
Literally when Thor, before I met you, I wasn't into comics or anything. I just knew Superman and Batman. But when the movie Thor, when you showed me Thor, I'm like, the guy from Adventures in Babysitting? That's what I said. I didn't know. That's how I knew Thor.
Yep. And so, no, I mean, there is plenty of ability, and they chose the right actors for the right roles, and they made it. Again, Chadwick Boseman's the greatest example, I think.
Yeah.
But Chris Evans is great. He's Captain America. Can you picture another Iron Man who's not Tony Stark right now? No. Robert Downey Jr. killed it.
Yeah, he did.
And if Iron Man 1, they said if Iron Man 1 would have failed, there'd be no MCU.
Yeah.
And I think if you put anybody else in that suit, if you just hired some random actor, a good actor, but just some random actor that kind of looked like Tony Stark from the comics, there's no MCU.
Yeah. John Krasinski actually auditioned for Captain America. But then when Chris Evans came in, he was like, never mind, I'm not even going to try.
I'm going back home to my actress wife. I'm playing Jack Ryan on Amazon.
Yeah, he's a good Jack Ryan.
He's a good Jack Ryan.
I think I liked Harrison Ford better, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's because I'm just used to it.
The legend. They're bringing Harrison Ford. Why? If here's another point I just thought of. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, wife.
You're welcome.
Thank you. If acting didn't matter, Harrison Ford ain't cheap. They just hired
Indiana
Harrison
Jones?
Ford to be Ross.
Oh yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross. They did that.
Is that confirmed?
Just last month? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You do not
because you
hire.
could just CGI a Red Hulk.
Not even a Red Hulk. Who cares if maybe they don't do Red Hulk. Maybe he's just playing Thunderbolt Ross.
Okay.
Why do you hire one of the most expensive actors in Hollywood who probably doesn't even want to do another movie and beg him to come out, after doing Indiana Jones,
Maybe
pay him a ton of money.
Maybe it's a bundled rate because he did Indiana Jones.
But why would you do that though?
Yeah, I know.
My point is
because
that
Thunderbolt
my
Ross
point is
isn't
the
a
amount of money they're going to pay him. You can make another movie.
Yeah, because Ross is not a big character in the MCU, so why would they get Harrison Ford to do it?
If acting doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
The money, you don't pay somebody if acting doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Fact doesn't matter. You go to a community college, you get a bunch of drama students, and you tell them to work out for 6
Give
months.
him a small part.
Give them some
you know?
steroids, and you throw them in a movie and put some costumes on them. There.
No, but Thunderbolt Ross in particular, where his role's not that big, you can just get any person.
Yeah. But I think his role's going to be bigger because they got him.
Yeah.
But my point is that there's a lot of
Well, like how they got Robert Redford for the Hydra.
you don't
guy.
get
Why
these people
would they do that? Yeah.
if acting doesn't matter.
Mhm.
You know, there's lots of old guys who can play these roles,
Mhm.
and they would do them for a fifth of the price.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I think that's it. All right. So just remember all the giveaways we're doing. I can't repeat them all right now because there's a lot of them. We'll be announcing Superfan winners. See us
For
at the
now
park
is
on the 9th.
the Loungefly Snow Globe
That's our
set.
December giveaway.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will see you a week from Sunday.
Yep.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.